Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Collins, and I am a representative of Kubinski Business Systems in Erie, Pennsylvania, and also the Davison Company in Hagerstown, Maryland. And today we're talking about our small games of chance tracking system. It was created in-house, actually at Kubinski Business Systems, but we currently sell it in multiple states, and it is currently running in over 50 social clubs now in the state of Pennsylvania and a few in other states as well. Um, that business is also growing into the bar and tavern side now. Pennsylvania has recently passed a law that's allowing taverns to sell gaming tickets behind the bar. Um, just quickly, for the people who don't want to stick around for the full demonstration, I just want to do a couple transactions so that they can show their staff or just for a peace of mind to see how tickets are actually sold. I can sell tickets in a couple different ways. First of all, by actually pressing the sell button on the ticket and then hitting the cash button. So the cash drawer would open, I give out my 3 tickets, and I just made a sale on those 3 tickets. If somebody wins on a game, let's say they win $50 on, I'm not picking that soap, I would press the amount of the payout, 50, and then the pay button. You can see it's showing up as a negative, and then I hit cash. Um, that's just kind of the quick and dirty version of how tickets are actually sold and how easy it is to sell tickets for the bartender. Going into a little more detail now, um, my main screen here is, and this is the main screen by the way, these games are actually in play today, so they're being sold right now by the bartender. So currently I have 4 games actually in play on my screen. For 3 of these games, I have a sell and a pay button. But for one of these games, I do not have a sell button because that is actually a wall machine game. I am doing payouts out of my cash drawer on my point of sale here, but actually selling tickets takes place at the machine itself on the wall. And I'm sure everybody out there is familiar with a wall machine for dispensing tickets. In addition to my currently in play games, if I hit my start game button, it brings me to a list of games that are available for me to start as the bartender, but they're not in play yet. So if I run out of one of the games that is on my main screen, I would be able to start a new game and physically open up a new game. And we'll get to that here in a minute. In addition to my start game screen, I have an end game screen. And this screen shows the same games that are currently in play. You can see that these are the same exact games, but I can end those games when they run out of tickets as the bartender. So let's do that right now. Let's say I run out of Freak on a Leash. I'm going to end that first of all. So I physically sold out. I find Freak on a Leash. When I select that game to end, it's going to ask me one more time, do I want to end that game? And I'm going to say yes because I'm out of tickets. Now, once I end this game as the bartender, I no longer have access to it. It's then in management's hands on the back side of the system or the managerial side of the system. And you'll see more about that in video 2 of this series. But this is the front end of things, and we're talking about bartender stuff right now. So I'm going to say yes and end that game. It's going to disappear from my in-play screen. And now also if you go back to end game, it's gone from there as well. But now that I ended that game, typically in a social club or a tavern, there's a locker somewhere, or maybe under the bar they're storing brand new games that are unopened. So I'm going to go to my start game screen. These again are those games that management has put available to the staff or the bartenders to open up. So I'm physically going to walk over to Stuck on Luck, grab the game from the locker or underneath the bar or wherever the game's being stored, open up the game physically and dump it out into the fishbowl, if you will, and then I'll select Start on that game. So as soon as I do that, it actually brings the game in play. and I can now start selling Stuck on Luck. So I mentioned previous to this that you can sell games in a couple different ways. Physically by hitting the sell button on the sell screen and then hitting cash. The cash drawer would then open, you give out your tickets, and then you just sold 5 tickets. I can also do a payout on these games by hitting the amount of the payout and then the pay button for that winning ticket. So again, let's say it was $50, bird in hand. It's showing up as a negative because I'm going to take $50 out of the cash drawer. I hit cash, the cash drawer opens, I give out my $50 winner. And you can do that for any amount. Let's say it was $63 cash. I can also do a sell and a pay in the same transaction. So let's say I sold one of each of the tickets and I had a $20 winner on Stuck on Luck. You can see it's going to show up as a negative $17 because the system knows to compensate for the tickets that you sold during that payout. So again, I hit cash, I give $17 out, and that's the end of that transaction. In addition to doing payouts, I also have something available to me that I can set a threshold for it to print a ticket on a big winner. The law used to be that you needed a receipt for a winning ticket over $100. But now it has currently changed, in Pennsylvania at least, to $600, and I can set the threshold for whatever I want it to be as the manager. But when I do have a winner over $600, but let's just say it's $5.99, I have a winning ticket on bird in hand. The system treats it as a normal transaction, and nothing's going to print out here on my receipt printer because I don't need that customer information now. But let's say there's a 601 winner. And it's going to think here for a second. And you'll probably be able to hear it print out this receipt on my microphone here. There it goes. So it printed a receipt. I have the customer that won that money sign my receipt, and it's typically stapled to the winning ticket. In addition to doing this procedure, that big payout is now showing up on a special report on the back end of things here. So you have all the correct information you need in the event that you get audited by the BLC or whoever polices your establishment. As far as editing things as the bartender, let's say, again, I have a few tickets in queue over here on the right hand side of the screen. I say, oh man, I didn't mean to hit the I'm not picking that soap. I can physically select that right here and hit item correct. So I can take away single items one at a time if I want. Keep in mind I did not hit cash yet. Hitting cash finalizes the transaction, which then makes you do a void if you want to back that transaction out. And I'll get to that here in a second. Let's say I wanted to start over completely. I can just hit cancel transaction. It takes all the transactions away. That information is not really going to show up on any of my reports. If I need to do a void, so let's say again I sell one of each of these tickets and I hit cash and I go, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I would then hit void. You can see it says return transaction right here. I do the exact same transaction. This time, since I did hit void, it's showing up as a negative, which will then balance out or zero out that previous transaction. So again, I hit cash. You can see it's showing as a return here. And those returns are also tracked as well on the reporting side of things. I also have a no sale button here. I can turn that on and off as the manager if I don't want my staff pressing the no sale button, because it does pop the cash drawer. I also have a receipt button here. I can issue a receipt for any transaction if I want to. I have a fish button on here. This is for one specific club that we tailored to a little bit that didn't technically want to track their games through the system, but they were still storing money in the cash drawer. So I'm not going to get too far into that here. One thing I also want to point out is I have a cashier button here. So currently I'm signed on as Jane, and you can see Jane as the cashier right here. If I hit cashier, Jane just signed off. So now if I go to make a transaction, it's not allowing me to do it because there's no tender signed on to here. Um, Jane's number is 11, so I hit 11 cashier and Jane is signed back on and she can now make transactions. The reason we have employee numbers is we can track then what Jane sold versus what Joe sold, or whatever the employee's name is. So that's kind of the more detailed version of the front end of the gaming system. It's designed to be as quick and easy for the staff as possible. There's all kinds of ways we can tailor specifically to different clubs and taverns. Every establishment is ran differently, but we think that we have a great system here, and over time it's proven through our customers that are using our system that it works very well. So please give us a call if you have any questions, and we'd love to meet with you.